Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with Trae.
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to this terrific Tuesday, and I'm really excited, y'all, because we got theater in the building with Brian Kirk, the drummer from The Color Purple, playing at Village Theater right now, and I'm so excited that he's joining me as my guest so we can dive into his experience and what he's bringing in terms of his brilliance to The Color Purple cast. I'm really excited to dive into it with him. But of course, as the top of the show, this is where I dive into it with you. Y'all already know that. This is the point of the show where I'm going to tell you, share this show with others who you feel could benefit from our daily dose of dopeness we give you here on The Day with Trae. And as always, if you can't watch us, you can always listen to us as well. Anywhere you find your favorite podcast, just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae, and you will find us on your favorite platform. Now, before I get into it with Brian here, I want to tell y'all that there's something so special about our community theaters. Now, I've talked about this several times, but one of the things that, really strikes me is we have a lot of them throughout Washington State, meaning that there's a lot of different amazing casts and crew that are bringing these stories to life for you, trying to make it easy for you to access them right there in your neighborhood, right? And so I talk about some of the major venues all the time, especially venues here in Seattle, but there are so many amazing community venues that are putting together phenomenal shows, great cast, great crew, amazing sets. And for me, it's all about what live performance can bring in terms of storytelling. Now, when we think about some of the classics that really circulate to our venues, we see some of these amazing classics pop up every now and then. But I'll tell you this much, there is something unique about live theater because it really depends on who is on that stage, right? And so you get a different experience based on this cast or this set or that set. And the beauty is that when we think of storytelling, I was just having this conversation with my son, that it's so special to see the twinkle in the eye of a young person who realizes when I read the book and then I watch the movie, I'm getting two different experiences. And that is what drew me into my love for reading. But it also is a direct line in terms of my enjoyment of live theater, because you could read a book and then you see it on stage or you see it on screen and it brings to life all of the details that you were formulating in your head when you're reading the book. So what I love is when, amazing directors pull together phenomenal casts and crews and they find a way to uniquely tell the story through live theater. So when I tell y'all all the time that I'm truly a theater kid, I mean it, because my love for live performance began at a young age. I first started thinking, oh, it's on screen. And immediately it was like these amazing opportunities for theater came my way. I couldn't pass them up. And I really appreciated the specific and unique direction I got from a director who was bringing that character out in me, right? So I really love being able to support our local theaters, but also our performers. Some of them come here for shows. Some of them are right here in our backyard. And the beauty is that no matter where you're going to see live performance, I guarantee you're destined for a unique experience based on the effective vision of that director and the portrayal of characters through those who are on stage. So I'm encouraging you. If you're somebody who's like, I don't know if theater is my thing, just try. Start out with your local theater. You never know what you might find on that stage that'll maybe put a twinkling in your eye. Well, after this short break, up next, we got Brian Kirk joining me. We're going to be talking all things the color purple being put on right now by the Village Theater. Y'all don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Pacific Northwest Ballet is thrilled to be back on stage with your favorite holiday tradition, the Nutcracker. Brighten your holidays with this timeless tale performed by PNB's incredible company of dancers to the live magic of the PNB Orchestra playing Tchaikovsky's classic score. Treat your loved ones to the Nutcracker at Seattle Center's McCaw Hall. For tickets, visit pnb.org.
In Seattle, it's more than just coffee. It's community. At the station, we brew more than just your favorite cup. We brew connection. From Beacon Hill to Columbia City, we're a space for artists, activists, and everyone in between. A place to gather, create, and simply be. Whether you need a quiet place to work, a lively spot to meet friends, or just a moment to unwind, find your place at the station. More than coffee, it's home. Visit us in Beacon Hill or Columbia City. The Station, where community happens.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Mr. Brian Kirk. Hi.
Hi, Trae.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Well, as you can tell, I am a lover of theater, but you have a very unique role in this production as the drummer. So, we got to start in the beginnings
Right.
of your musical journey. Tell us what got you started into music.
My father is a drummer, was a jazz drummer, and played many of the musical theater and shows in Indianapolis. So I started playing drums when I was about 6 or 7 or 8. Started seriously studying about 13, and I studied at college, privately as well as college, and I have a degree in classical percussion, and then I have also a master's degree in jazz contemporary studies from NYU. Wow. So I just did a lot of playing in the Bay Area because I'm from San Francisco. I was born in Indianapolis, but San Francisco. And having my dad, all the musicians that he played with, come over to the house all the time and play and show me how things are done professionally as well as having fun doing it. The bug hit me and I just continued to practice and play and get experience.
Wow.
So.
I'm going to tell you, there's something really special because as soon as you were sharing that, my mind goes into visual mode.
Okay.
So I'm seeing you as a young kid, you got the professional musicians that just coming over to your house, everybody eating dinner and sitting there having like a jam session.
They were jamming, yes. And and not only dinner, had a couple of pops, but they're trying to outdo each other. My dad had a organization called the Percussion Pool, where he got all the drummers in San Francisco together to get together and have food, like you say, food and good times, bring the family kind of thing. And so they would all come by the house. There'd be a set of drums downstairs in the basement, but he also had snare drums where you could play brushes. And so the guys would try to outdo each other and, and laugh and talk. It was a really great experience growing up in San Francisco with my dad being a musician, plus a musical educator. He was an educator as well. So.
But then you really followed in his footsteps in such a unique way, taking it all the way through a master's program and understanding like the mechanics behind music.
Yes.
Tell us how that really informed your approach to drumming.
Having studied with my dad and not taking it serious enough at age 6, he gave up on me. But then at 13, I really, having the environment that I grew up in, I kind of knew what had to be done. Mm-hmm. And so I got really serious about it, actually living in San Francisco and enjoying the music of Tower Power and Cold Blood and all of the funk bands in that era in the 70s and 80s. And so I started studying, and I studied drums with Chuck Brown, who was David Garibaldi's drum teacher of Tower Power. And so I studied with Chuck for 7 years, and the discipline that he taught me, and he told me, if you do this stage, this step, you know, you keep going, you practice, I give you a little bit more, you come back and practice, and then you give me your album, and I put it on the wall. He had a chalkboard well full of albums from Tower and Santana, because Michael Shreve studied with him. So that inspired me. And just being around all the players at college that were really, it's a big competition between percussionists and drummers. Who's going to be in the first band? Who's going to be the first chair in the percussion ensemble or orchestra or concert band, that kind of thing. So it was just my dad said, the bug got you, you don't have to worry about you anymore, you know, as a teenager.
He was able to go, okay,
Yeah,
I can
okay.
rest, I concur, you got it now.
You got it, you know, you understand it now. So I had all the literature. I mean, he was a music teacher, plus he had just so much music. He was a student of history. And so I had books and everything I needed to do. So I took care of business because it was something I wanted to do.
Well, you know, the love of it is really always going to be the driver.
Yes.
I try to really instill that in my sons, that when you find that love of something, your purpose begins to formulate around that. And the beauty is that you have the ability to make it your own, to make
Yes.
that path your own, which is sounds like you definitely did.
Yeah.
But when you think about taking all that you learned, right, in school and through all of the experiences and relationships, then you start doing musical theater yourself. Tell us about that kind of transition. Did you do other things like be in a band or things like that in between? Or tell us a little bit more. Once you got out of the educational environment, how did it manifest for you to now be on stage for The Color Purple?
Well, the training I got in San Francisco was literally playing in garage bands and funk bands around the area. And so when I studied at City College in San Francisco, with Dr. David Hardiman and others, I started to begin to reach out to theater people, because I always liked theater, always liked musical theater. It's always been something I love. And so I reached out to David and other people about getting experience in musical theater. So I started volunteering and playing in shows in around San Francisco, Chorus Line, Dreamgirls, all these little local productions of these particular shows, a Music Man. And then I got a job at Great America, which is now Six Flags, Great America Amusement Park, and I got to play the musical theater shows in Great America. So I was hired in, I was still in college, I think it was 81 and 82, where I got to play the Music Man. I got to play Evolution of Rock, which is 8 shows a day, 6 days a week. And then Music Man was every 8 shows a week, and over 400 shows. So I got to really experience of being in a pit, as well as not really being on stage at the Evolution of Rock. I was in kind of the house band, because that was when they actually eliminated horns and they played with the rhythm section with a tape.
Wow.
So they're trying to save money, right? And they did, I guess. And so we actually played with a tape, and it was a variety show of what they call the evolution of rock and roll, all the way through the 50s, all the way through the 80s. We kind of, I think the closing number was Celebration by Kool and the Gang, right?
Yeah.
That was, everybody's going crazy. But that experience just led me to other experiences around the Bay Area. And then I just said, you know what? I kept playing around, and Fred Berry hired me to play for Gladys Knight and the Pips. So she came to the Paramount in Oakland, the whole family, and it was a wonderful experience. And I was playing vibraphone, timpani, tambourine. Her sons played congas. Bubba played congas, her brother. But I had all the miscellaneous percussion, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was like a really pressure cooker, because it was only 3 nights, but I literally handled it. And I was like, I gotta go to New York. And so I made plans to go to New York in 1986. And I went to NYU in 1988. So yeah, that experience just taught me a lot.
So then what brought you here to the Pacific Northwest?
That's interesting you say that. People always ask me when I first got here. I've been here 30 years. I was on the road with the Pointer Sisters' Ain't Misbehavin' show. We did 42 cities in 11 months, 8 shows a week. The Pointer Sisters wanted to literally say that, okay, we can do musical theater. We have the chops, of course. We're not, you know, and they developed themselves into triple threats. They could always dance, but they really had to learn to show Amos Bay, the Fast Waller show. So I did a month of rehearsals in New York, and we went on the road and opened like September 13th of 1995. And as I was traveling, I realized that the family was being neglected. So it was a long time. So my wife, we had just had our first child, and then the second one's on the way. And so we talked, and I started putting my resume into various cities, and I got a job at Seattle Central College teaching music. So that's what brought me to Seattle.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you started working and doing, you know, musical theater, because now you're at Village Theater with a phenomenal show of The Color Purple.
Yes.
And so obviously there's a transition there. Tell us a bit about how it's been to work with the cast and crew for The Color Purple at Village Theater.
Oh, it's been wonderful. First of all, I want to thank the Village Theater for having me and inviting me to play the show. And I want to thank the administration management for bringing in The Color Purple, which is a phenomenal, kind of one of my dream shows that I always wanted to play, because I had experience of playing Five Guys Named Mo in New York with Daryl Ivey, who was the associate conductor of the show. And literally he was the first on The Color Purple, the production of it on Broadway with Sheila. And so I always wanted to play it, but when I got here and Tim Simons invited me to play, I was like, what a blessing. So it's phenomenal. The show is, it's just like going to church 7 times a week. I mean, I grew up playing in church as well. I didn't say anything about that, but just the experience of those voices coming at you all night long, and just everybody's like a lead singer in a gospel choir. But they all come together and blend really well, and the orchestra's fantastic. I mean, it's just like Tim Simons, the pianist, he's amazing. I mean, I've been in New York, and I played Black and Blue, Sir Roland Hanna, and a bunch of people, but he's one of the best pianist conductors I've ever played with.
Wow. So that's saying a lot about this crew. What I love is that, when we hear the inner workings of, cast, crew, and everyone coming together, it really is a draw to come and see it. Because again, I think people have this conception, especially with, some of our classic shows, like The Color Purple. We're like, oh, okay, I read the book, I've seen the movie, I saw the movie 2.0,
Yes.
I've seen it in a play before. And so sometimes people are like, oh, I've seen it. But that's what I love, is that when I was talking earlier about the unique nature of bringing talented individuals together, it's not the same. So I love that you're talking about this in that way. And how is the audience receiving the show so far?
Oh, from the sound, I can't see them, but from the sound of it, it sounds like it's amazing. They just really love it. I mean, I can tell that they're getting jokes. They understand the situation. They feel the heartache of Celie, the passion of all the actors in the show, and yet they're drawn in. They really are. It's an amazing show. It really is.
I can't wait to see it. You got me so excited. I'm going to tell you, Brian, you got me excited for sure. But I always got to give folks time to make sure folks know, how do they come and see this show? Y'all have 2 different theaters you're going to be in. So I want to give you time to look right in the camera, let folks know how they come and see The Color Purple from Village Theater.
So The Color Purple is now playing at Issaquah, Village Theater Issaquah, and we are playing through June 28th in Issaquah. And villagetheater.org or villagetheater.org/purple will get you right to the tickets that you can buy the show. We moved to Everett, the Everett Performing Arts Center, and we opened June 5th, and we run through July 5th through July 27th, and then we'll be in the Everett Everett Performance Arts Center.
Wow. So y'all got a really long run. I mean, this is a great way for folks to come. You're giving
really.
us lots of opportunity to come and see the show.
Yes.
Brian, I'm so grateful that you were able to join me today and
Thank
bring
you, Trae.
your commensurate experience of drumming to this phenomenal show. I can't wait to hear you on the drums. Drums is like one of my favorite things. You know, I was like third chair in fourth grade. I felt it. I still am so drawn to percussion. So thank you so much for being a part of this phenomenal cast and joining me today.
You.
Wow.
Appreciate it.
Y'all, I tell you, it's always so phenomenal to hear the background stories of folks that we would never normally hear from. And so now I'm even more pumped to get my tickets. Make sure you get yours, villagetheater.org. I'm gonna wrap this all up right after this short break. Stay tuned, you're watching The Day with Trae.
Powerful sentiments, live musical performances, and soul food are all reasons you should grab your tickets to the annual Reparations, a Party for the People Gala on Saturday, November 8th. This year, we're celebrating wins for reparations and setting a powerful vision for the year ahead. We can't wait to see you there.
Hello, welcome to Elite Insights with Carlos Imani. We're looking to offer an in-depth look at event production industry through the lens of client experiences and joint successes. The podcast will emphasize guest interviews, focusing on client discussing their fields and reflecting on their collaboration with Elite Collective. Again, you're with Elite Insights. Carlos Imani here. I'll see you guys in a few.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Huge shout out to Brian Kirk for joining me today about his role in The Color Purple as the drummer. Now, it is so great to be able to hear from one of the musicians who is helping to bring the story to life through their phenomenal musicianship, and to hear this lineage, legacy that he is continuing from his father and making his own is so inspiring. Y'all know I was inspired. I always want y'all to be inspired, because even if you don't know what you are drawn to at the age of 6 like Brian, or the age of 9 like me, it doesn't matter at what age you get drawn to something, but when you really dedicate yourself and commit yourself to building that thing up, trust me, you will see the fruits of that. And I'm going to tell you that then when you bring those fruits out for all of us to enjoy, we make our world better, because we need you to be living in your brilliance and in your purpose. So I really want to thank Brian for bringing his inspiring story right here to The Day with Trae today. And I'll be back with y'all tomorrow. Until then, at 11 a.m., y'all. Peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.